And we're live on Facebook once again. Going to check out a different part of the show field right now because we've seen plenty of Mustangs, but it's time to see the Lincolns, the Mercurys, and everything in between. Got the Ford Fusions over here as well, and the Mark VIIs. And shout out to Lincolns of Distinction for being a part of our show. Appreciate them being here. We'll start out with the Mark 8s, rather. What did I say? Mark 7. Mark 8s over here, of course. A couple of Fusions. A couple of Mercurys over here, too. And if you may or may not have heard, a record-setting event here for Carlisle, the biggest car show we've ever had. Over 3,400 cars here, so we're starting to forego the classification areas. You may see some other things mixed in with the other cars. But it's a great thing to see when we've got this many people here. Getting into the Tauruses over here too. The SHOs. Shout out to Andrea and Howard for checking in. Tom and Matthew. I always think of the SHO as kind of like the sleeper. You know, all these Mustangs here, but those Tauruses don't mess around. And we'll make our way back up through the miscellaneous Lincoln area, a couple of specific areas up farther. But like I said, classification's starting to go out the window a little bit so that we can give everybody a place to show their car today. Over 3,400 cars on the show field registered. And back up towards the Fusions and the Mark 8s. We'll keep our way going. I think I promised you we'll go at least as far as the T-Birds, and we'll see where we get from there. Thanks for tuning in. Check that out. And we'll check out this Fusion right on the end here while we're over here. Saving the manuals, one stick at a time. Get a shot here of all the merch here for Lincolns of Distinction. And the Mark VII Club over here. Shouted them out a little prematurely over here in the Mark 8s. But we'll walk down through the Mark 7s. This is the stock class right here. Check that paint job out. We're going to jump on over to the Comets over here and the Cyclones. Some beautiful automobiles over here. Getting into the Ford Fairmounts. A couple other things over here as well. Some of the not quite so popular, but still awesome. Look at this Continental over here. Oh, Looks like you're seeing me. Sorry. Didn't want to show you that. Wonder how long you've been watching that. My bad. We'll get a look at some of the last couple of cars just in case. I want to show you. Couple Fairmonts over here. Check that out. Yeah, we'll make our way back around, but I want to show you the Continentals. Shout out to Continental Cruisers for their club presence here. There's the Continental. That's what we're talking about. Look at that. Thing stretches just about as far as Shippensburg. If you're local, you get that. The Meteor right here.
Check it out.
Love that interior. Let's get a look at that interior. Patterned interior. Love it. Not many dashes looking like that anymore, that's for sure. Ooh, a few more Continentals over here. That is pretty. Hard not to feel like a boss riding around in one of those, that's for sure. And a few town cars on display. A few less traveled. One from Canada, very traveled, we should say. Then we'll make our way up another row. Getting over to the Galaxies. Couple fastbacks. Look at that Country Squire wagon. Love the woody panel sides. That is a thing of beauty. Now this is an interesting find here. I'll let you read about it. So plenty about this one. Some rare gems always found in Carlisle. We'll sort of swap between the Galaxies. A couple Falcons over on the other side of the street too. Couple of Falcons, really looking pretty. Some custom details to go with them. Tons of Falcons on display today. And another club shout out to the Galaxy Club of America for their presence at the show. We're going to stop and take a look back down this row at this is 59 to 64 Galaxy, but again, some other things may be making their way in as we're trying to find parking for everybody to fit at this record-breaking show. Getting a look in the driver's seat there. Interesting hood feature on this Comet here. And we've seen a few of these, but we'll keep our way down the down to the 70s Galaxies as we get down to the end of the row. We'll take a flip around to the next row. It looks like we've got some T-Birds, some later T-Birds. Speaking of T-Birds, shout out to Gerard for tuning in. We're coming your way soon, sir. And we'll make our way around this row and actually catch a little glimpse of the Virginia Giant over here. Monster truck rides. Not an every year activity at the Ford Nationals, but available today. But we're going to keep looking at cars. So now, into the T-Birds. I think of this as later model. It's not really. So this is our late 90s T-Birds. For me, late 90s I still think of as not that long ago. I'm sure many of you do too. And like we said, some other things making their way into certain parts of the field, back into some Mercuries over here. 60s Thunderbirds across the way. And another club that has a great presence every single year in the International Thunderbird Club. We're gonna head down here past, we got a Crown Vic here. A couple more full-size Ford and Mercuries as this class. And then we'll make our way through the T-Birds, because as far as T-Birds go, one of my favorite parts of their section of the show field, right up here, towards the main drag through this part of the North Show field. So a couple Marauders here, looking real pretty. All right, so let's get into the 50s T-Birds, because just some beautiful details on these vehicles. Of course, all the obvious nods in the later models. Coming up on the club hangout for the International Thunderbird Club as well. Like I said, always a great presence at the Ford Nationals, and we really love them being here. Check that out. Loving that paint color. Let's look at some wheels here too. Loving that. Another beauty right here. And again, a big shout out to the International Thunderbird Club. Always a great presence at our shows. Really, really love having them here. All right, we're going to keep making our way down back through this aisle. We'll see some Virginia Giant in the background as well. Going to get into the 60s T-Birds down here. The unique design changes on these as we get into the 70s. Just incredible. All the different iterations of that design. And I said we'd go as far as the T-Birds, but we're going to keep walking. We'll head a few more T-Birds to see, but we're going to head up towards the Bronco summit. That is literally at the top of the fairgrounds, as we call it, up on the North Hill. Now one Mustang making its way to the side of the field. SVT's turbo coupes up here. It's a nice clean turbo coupe right here. Some nice custom paint in there. Back into the 80s and 90s over here. Always a fan of the smoky headlight covers myself. North American Turbo Coupe organizations hang out right here. You can get more info about them at their website right there. Great representation from the Turbo Coupes today. And just a few open spots left, that's for sure. All right. As you can see, we'll make our way up there eventually to the Bronco Summit. Right now, we'll go late 80s, early 90s T-Birds. Super Coupe Club over here. These are the Super Coupes. And another club shout out to the Super Coupe Club of America for giving us such a great presence out of the show. Getting into the rest of the Super Coupes here. We're going to let the folks that are here enjoy some of these as we make our way around. Hope you're enjoying our live video, but if you want a detail of every car, you just got to come see them for yourselves, folks. Check that out. Another Ford Lightning. You're going to see plenty of Ford Lightnings over the next couple of years here. Check that Excursion out. It's an Excursion just to climb up in it, I think. All the green detail on that one. That's pretty cool. So we're getting over to the Expeditions and the SUVs. Going to make our way back up around the other side of this row, and we'll see some of the most recent model Thunderbirds. Kind of a nod to the 50s era. We'll take a look at the Virginia Giant up a little bit closer. So there's the Giant. A fun opportunity for anybody who might want to check that out. Got a couple of Econolines down here. The vans are over here as well. Big old Excursion with the billet. Getting through the Ford Edge class. Well, not the class, but the other SUV class as it's known. Another F-150 Lightning. First gen. And we're into the most recent edition of the Thunderbird. Thanks again to all the T-Bird owners making their presence here at the show today. Over on the other side from me right now, got the F-150 SVTs and Lightnings. We'll take a look at those, and then we might head up toward the Bronco Summit. Haven't made a good walk through the Bronco Summit just yet. So, first gens of the F-150 Lightning and SVTs on this side. Let's see some trucks. Second gens, just down from the first gens of the Lightning. Focus making its way through. I got to check out the Focus class earlier myself. Definitely worth scoping out. And if we have some time, maybe I'll get my way over there, but probably not in this video. Ford Rangers down this way, past the SVTs and the Lightnings. And like we said, some people starting to get a little upset that their classes are intermingled, but we're just trying to find parking for everybody at this point, folks. We've never had this many cars on the fairgrounds before, so setting records all around and just hoping everybody has a place to park their car today. Have a good time out at the show. Couple of vans down this way. Got a quick look at these earlier. And here's the Virginia Giant headed out. So we'll keep heading up this way. See a few more trucks, a couple of vans, and we will make our way over to the Bronco Summit. A couple SUVs over here. Got the Explorers, but here's another second gen Lightning. We'll take a look at some of the 250s, 350s, the big trucks, as I call them. To some of you, they're, mid-size daily drivers. We'll hop back over to some more of the Explorer class. Movie buff over here with their Jurassic Park livery. Sport tracks over here. And a few more Super Duties, 250s, 350s. Over on this side. So we're going to make our way across the street now. We'll go up past the Cougars, past the Marauders, make our way back down that way, but we're going to go check out the Bronco Summit, one of our special display areas for this show. One of the cooler spots on the fairgrounds with quite a view on this record-setting day, highlighting not just the new 6th gen Broncos and Bronco Sports, but every generation of Bronco. Very big presence from our Bronco team. Of course, Ford Performance and Bronco Nation having a big presence as well. So here we are, the Bronco Summit area, highlighting these beautiful new 6th gen Broncos. A lot more custom work into the 6th gens than we've seen now that they're a little more available to people. Just some beautiful, beautiful options here in customization for both the 2-door and 4-door. We'll sneak through back behind an aisle. Sure most of you have never seen white Ford Bronco. A 94 white Ford Bronco to boot.
At least that high, maybe higher.
And here's why we're calling it the Summit. Look at this view. How cool is that? It's like the photo op spot for the Broncos this year. We'll go down to the end just so you can get a view of the show field from up atop the hill. Check that out. That view doesn't get much sweeter than that. And you know it because I think I'm one of about 10 people up here currently showing you what it looks like from atop the hill.
Sir, I thought everybody's supposed to rub their motor. That's what it has in that bowl.
You know, I'm not sure. I'm live on Facebook right now, but
12 o'clock. Yeah, nobody's rubbing their motor.
Says everyone when you rub your motors in honor of all the people that's passed away.
I'm aware of what was supposed to happen, but I think that was going to get sent down from the stage. The folks over here at Stang Magazine were going to host that engine rev.
Yeah, I don't hear nothing.
I wish I could say there was something I could do about it while I'm live on Facebook, but unfortunately, I'll just have to call and see if they're going to do that in a little bit.
Hey, like the news, don't believe what.
All right, yeah, thanks a lot. All right, so just the rest of our Bronco display. Early Broncos over this way. Mid-Atlantic Early Bronco Club with a great presence out at the show today. Lots of people checking out their merch. And thanks to all of our patrons and all of their opinions that they can have for themselves. All right, let's head over to the Mercuries. Wrap this thing up a little bit. There's the Marauder class. Looking beautiful. Marauder's kind of intermingling with the Cougars due to the amount of space. Getting inventive with as much space as we can here. So after our Marauders, we'll take a look at some Cougars. Here's a Cougar right here. Just a couple spaces. Really not much when it comes to show field spaces available here. So here's the Cougars, starting the 60s Cougars. You're gonna hear the Ford Performance and Gateway Mustang folks over there doing some demo rides for some folks, talking about what they do.
Four speeds or five?
Get all the way into the 2000s Cougars over here. And some 70s Cougars.
My dad had a red sold.
All right, and we've got some XR7s, some Cougars up this way. But I would be remiss if I didn't make one more stop down here on what we call the yellow show field. We'll walk down the way here. Check out a couple of full-size 50s, a couple of customs, a couple of street rods here. As We do love our street rods here as well. An interesting one catching a lot of attention at this show, one we've seen here in Ford before, one that made its way to television previously. The Caterkiller, as it's known. Pretty notorious setup there. Got another video out there if you want to check that one out about the Caterkiller. A couple more full size here. Into the 50s full size. Edsel's across the way over here. Beautiful old Crown Vics all through this aisle. And we got some Fairlanes over here. I guess you could call these the full size. And here's the pint size. This is a very interesting modification from a real fit a golf cart body. Very interesting there. And we'll take one look up through. A few more full size. So we'll wrap it up there, folks. Thanks for following us down through the north part of the show field. Biggest car show that has ever happened here in Carlisle for the 2022 Ford Nationals, brought to you by Meguiar's. Thanks for watching.